Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into something totally wild and radically optimistic. We are unpacking a vision for our world based on the brilliant insights of Pablo Hollmann. Now, if you don't know who Hollmann is, you're in for a treat. He's a true pioneer. He actually helped build Blue Origin in its early days alongside Jeff Bezos. And no, not just for billionaire space tourism, but with a very serious long-term goal. Humanity literally needs a plan B. We need a backup plan for survival, and through his work as an inventor and deep tech investor, Hollmann has mapped out this incredible blueprint for how technology, energy, and human ingenuity are going to be the exact things that save us.
So let's kick things off with Hollmann's ultimate motto, which is boycott dystopia. You know, for decades now, Hollywood and the media have basically conditioned us to be terrified of the future. They feed us these movies where new technology always leads to some dark apocalyptic ruin, right? Well, Hollmann argues that we have got to reject this fear-mongering. We need to start creating and sharing positive narratives about progress. Because at the end of the day, technology is absolutely our greatest tool for overcoming the massive hurdles we have ahead of us.
Section 1. The Human Energy Crisis. It's a modern paradox.
Okay, think about this for a second. Humanity has spent millennia just trying to survive, dodging fatal diseases, avoiding starvation. If you track human history over the last 100,000 years, the population line is basically just a flat line. Homo sapiens barely grew in numbers. But then, as we finally solved those core survival problems over the last 2 centuries, our population suddenly spiked. It's this dramatic hockey stick shape. In the blink of an evolutionary eye, we skyrocketed to a massive peak.
And that peak? Yeah, that puts us at over 8 billion people living on Earth today. As we evolved our day-to-day existence from grueling physical labor, like, mining coal by hand, to modern, comfortable knowledge work done on laptops, our quality of life absolutely soared. But here's the catch. A modern digital lifestyle, multiplied by 8 billion people, creates a staggering, almost unimaginable demand for energy. But how much energy are we actually talking about here?
To make that energy demand tangible, I want you to picture a standard kitchen toaster. Imagine your total energy consumption, literally everything you do, represented by that toaster. The average American uses the energy equivalent of 8 toasters running continuously, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's huge. Meanwhile, there are 3 billion people on Earth surviving on less energy than a single toaster. This severe, massive energy inequality, that is the true root cause of global poverty, conflict, and substandard living conditions. So here is the bottom line. To elevate those 3 billion people to a decent standard of living, humanity needs to generate 10 times more energy than we do right now. Think about that. 10 times. In the last century, we actually achieved a 10x increase by burning coal and oil. But if we try to pull that off again today, we won't just destroy the environment. The scramble for limited fossil fuels is going to trigger endless resource wars. We urgently need solutions that are clean and completely limitless.
Section 2. Limitless power from space. Let's look at our first major technological leap for building this Plan B. When we think of clean energy, we usually picture solar panels on a roof, right? But terrestrial solar has 2 unsolvable problems: nighttime and clouds. Well, space doesn't do clouds, and space definitely doesn't do nighttime. If we launch solar arrays into space, we get a massive 8x multiplier in energy gathering. A panel in orbit gets 8 times the solar energy compared to a panel on the ground, and it operates 24/7 in perpetual high noon. And get this, it's not science fiction. That gathered energy can actually be beamed safely back down to Earth using radio waves.
Now, the old argument against this was always the price tag. During the space shuttle era, sending something the weight of an iPad into space cost roughly $40,000. Today, SpaceX has driven that down to just $1,500. And with the upcoming Starship, the goal is to drop it to $10. Plunging launch costs mean we can feasibly place giant solar arrays in unique angled orbits. They can literally beam power continuously to different halves of the world as the Earth turns, automatically creating this incredible global clean energy marketplace.
Section 3. Underground nuclear reactors. Safe fission.
Pivoting from the stars to deep beneath our feet, let's talk about nuclear fission. It is incredibly energy-dense, but man, is it misunderstood. Hollmann brings up some amazing statistics to challenge our typical fears about nuclear power. In the US, the civilian nuclear fatality record is 0. 0! He actually points out that statistically way more people are injured or killed just falling off their roofs trying to install solar panels than in civilian nuclear accidents. And the efficiency?
It's mind-blowing. A single chunk of depleted uranium the size of a soup can contains enough energy to power one person's entire lifetime. And we already have 700,000 metric tons of this waste just sitting around. That's enough to power the entire globe for 1,000 years without mining another ounce.
The real problem with nuclear power hasn't been safety at all. It's always been economics. Historically, every single nuclear plant was uniquely designed and required these massive billion-dollar custom concrete domes. Enter SMRs, or small modular reactors. These things completely changed the game. Instead of building a bespoke, massive megaproject, these are standardized reactors built on an assembly line in a factory. It's exactly the way Toyota manufactures cars, and that drives the cost down dramatically.
And here is where it gets truly ingenious. There's this concept called deep fission. Walk through this with me. Step 1, you drill a narrow hole 1 mile deep into the earth. Step 2, you lower your factory-built SMR down the hole. Step 3, because it's a mile deep, you use the immense pressure of gravity for water cooling. This completely eliminates the need for complex, failure-prone mechanical pumps. And finally, step 4, you just pull it up to refuel it every 7 years. Because the whole thing sits under 10 billion tons of solid rock, it is inherently, fundamentally safe from literally any surface disaster.
And this isn't just some theoretical whiteboard idea. Right now, there are 844 of these deep fission reactors already backordered by commercial clients. The U.S. Department of Energy is pushing hard for the very first one to go into the ground by July 2026. The commercial demand for abundant, perfectly safe, reliable baseline power, it's already here.
Section 4. The true power of AI, beyond consumer chatbots.
Once we have physical energy solved, we can shift to generating computational problem solving. To understand AI's real value, way beyond generating funny pictures on social media, we have to embrace this concept: fail in software instead of reality. AI is fundamentally about creating incredibly complex computational models. It lets scientists and engineers simulate the real world so accurately that we can safely crash virtual rockets, test virtual cars, and break things inside a computer rather than spending millions of dollars blowing things up in real life.
These real-world AI simulations are already changing everything around us. SpaceX uses them extensively to test rocket designs before a single piece of metal is even cut. In Madagascar, AI modeled the seasonal outbreak of malaria, which helped officials realize they could practically eliminate the disease just by precisely timing their interventions. And soon, we're going to have full computational simulations of the entire human body. That means we can safely test the exact effects of a new drug or food on a digital twin before a human being ever swallows a pill.
Section 5. The future we must build. Reorganizing society.
Limitless energy and computational power are amazing, but they're just tools. The real question is how we actually reorganize society around them. We constantly hear this fear-driven question: if AI drives the trucks, what do humans do? People panic about job loss, but the reality is, right now, we have a shortage of 100,000 truck drivers. Driving a truck is a dangerous, exhausting, and often incredibly lonely job. If a computer can step in and do the dangerous, mundane work, the question shouldn't be, how do we protect that job? It should be, what higher, more meaningful purpose could humans serve instead?
Holman offers a totally brilliant social solution to this. Right now, our education system is seriously struggling, trapping 30 kids in a room with just one overworked teacher. Oftentimes, kids are actually learning more effectively from an iPad at home. So Holman's vision is this: let the AI drive the trucks. Take the vast amounts of money society saves on logistics and redirect it to employ those former drivers as dedicated one-on-one human tutors. The problem isn't that AI steals jobs. The problem is that as a society, we currently choose to spend our money paying people to drive trucks rather than paying them to individually mentor our children.
Ultimately, it all comes down to personal responsibility. Holman challenges every single one of us. If you are worried about the next generation, don't just complain about broken systems or scary technology. Take action. Spend just 1 hour a week teaching the kid next door. Share your knowledge. Engage with the actual humans around you.
I want to end this explainer on an absolute mic drop quote from Holman. He says, "We have the best tools in history. If we don't build a good future, we have no excuses." We are literally sitting on the launch pad of a radically abundant future, and we have the blueprints right in our hands. The only question left is, what will you choose to build tomorrow? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.